you all for coming to this showcase. I was just going to go quickly through what I sort of did the 5 days and where I'm at and sort of what the future sort of looks like. The whole purpose of this was, as you all might know, Readify offers a 20-day in a year program. It's a PD professional development program. We can sort of choose whatever we want to do, like learn a new skill. So as part of that, I sort of wanted to come to Telstra Labs and understand what it takes to sort of develop an idea into a product and what's the whole process, and sort of work on one of the ideas that I had as well. So the day one obviously started with the Telstra Labs tour by Guy, so thank you very much. We had a bit of a agenda program with both Dan and Guy to sort of generate what I could be possibly doing in the 5 days and come up with a brief agenda. I got introduced to the RAD frame and we came up with a 5-day plan. Day 2 started with a review of the lean canvas with Guy, which sort of obviously gave me more ideas and to validate some of the problems that I had actually put in. As part of that, actually I generated 3 different ideas. At the end, we actually came up with 3 different lean canvases for each of them. Moving on, I also had a session with Riddhi about how to do customer interviews, which is really good because honestly I'd never done anything like that. Day 2 was really good, and actually moving on to day 3, which was the continuation from there, I actually conducted customer reviews. So I sort of went out, spoke to the pharmacist, and I also spoke to some of the people, which was really interesting because initially I went outside and tried to speak to people and they thought I was trying to sell them something and they didn't want to talk to me at all, which was a very interesting experience. I actually just spoke to people who were sitting down downstairs. I even offered them a free coffee for 10 to 15 minutes of their time. But then I also had a surprise pitch to Ben Sand, who was here on that day. Nice. But it gave me an understanding of what the investor is actually looking for in your idea. So the sort of how to form a team, how is it going to be profitable. One of the questions he asked me is, have you assembled any team before for anything? Which is a good question to reflect for me. Day 4, so I had lots of customer interviews and I think I had a better idea of what I sort of wanted to build. Jumped straight into landing page generation. Did a bit of design for that, and I had a session with Delphina. She just sort of reviewed the landing page and also some of the rough app designs that I had on paper. Now my landing page looks totally different now after the session with her, and then obviously implementing the design feedback because I totally changed it. And finally the day 5, so I had a session with Dan this morning to go through the Facebook ad campaigns, just show you the landing page. From the design sessions as well, what I sort of understood is that you put your main value proposition in the beginning. So the main thing is we deliver prescription medication, and what are the 3 different scenarios that I think it's applicable in, and put the sign up or subscription form right there for people who don't want to scroll right to the bottom. I also put in like a how does it work sort of a thing, what the whole process is about, sort of for people to understand what actually is happening.
What's the Samajini?
Okay, it's an Indian word which means a companion, a compassionate companion. In terms of the app that I need to build, there's 3 different aspects. So there's obviously the app, there's also this tamper-proof box that I'm talking about in which the medication is going to be dispensed, which is going to be locked, which the user can open with the code that they get. And we also need to get the actual paper prescription back to the pharmacy, so it's a double trip.
Have you looked at the regulations?
Yes, so when I had a chat with the pharmacist, I came to know that there's two types of medication. There's S3 and S8. The S3 is 80% of the medications, which they can dispense just with a photo, but they need the prescription back. So the S8, which is the 20% of medication, which they can't dispense without the actual medication. So we would be obviously restricted to actually just cater for the 80%.
Were there other companies or other services available that are doing delivery of medications in Australia?
There's few pharmacies who do deliveries, but within the 9 to 5 p.m. only. The idea that I got even from the pharmacy that I was talking to is that they only do deliveries to their long-term customers. So it wasn't really like I could just call up someone and say I want this delivered. I couldn't really find anything like that.
What's your thoughts on the business model?
So the way I'm thinking is any medications ordered through us would be a 10 to 20% cut. I would say 20% because that's what delivery do at this point of time, which is obviously the food delivery. So 20% cut would be around delivery, so extra delivery charges, which would depend on what time of the day you're actually ordering, and also the which area you reside in.
What was the most interesting thing you learned from the interviews that you didn't know before going into this process?
Came up from one of the ladies that I was interviewing was she was saying that she wants to manage medications for her parents. Initially I thought it would be just the person managing medication for themselves. So now I want to have like another page where they could do medication for their mom and dad or their kids and have different profiles for them and be able to do that. You'd also need a medical authority, permission to actually manage medication for someone else. There's a bit of legal things involved in there.
Cool. Well done.
Thank you very much, and so thank you to Guy, especially for making all of this happen. So Thank you everyone for having me here and spending your valuable time and insights.
Awesome. You're welcome. Congrats.
Thank you.